Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And I know recently I've been short with the what ifs. I haven't able to be posting all of the videos guys because I've been really swamped with a lot of other things. But I will get back into the sync soon and you'll be getting all of your what ifs on the daily basis. For now, just give me the time guys. I'll still make sure to give you a few episodes here and there. For today I'm going to be giving you a brand new episode. Part 8 of What If Naruto Was Otsutsuki King. Remember to get this one to 300 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and I also did the final episode of What If Izuna Uchiha was Naruto's ancestor, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, Yuji wanted to know what is Naruto's deep connection with his sister, as she wanted to know how they are so close, even though they're family. As Naruto told her that when she was young, the kids didn't want to play with her and she came crying to him, and she asked if she was a monster, that the other kids' parents told them not to go to her. And from that moment, something inside Naruto changed, and he saw himself as not her brother, but a father figure to her. So from that moment, he pledged to never make that look appear on her face again. As Yuji could understand, as she wished Naruto luck on the tuning exam tomorrow, she vanished. The next morning, something happened with Sasuke and Mito as the both of them won't even look each other in the eye, as the both of them were blushing rather madly. Until Mito then spoke to him as she told him that Naruto cannot find out about this because if her big brother did, he would kill him. As Sasuke chuckled, but Mito had a serious look on her face. He would actually kill you, she said. As Sasuke gulped, so to make sure that Naruto never find out about that secret, because something happened last night. Naruto then arrived as they enter. After entering, they saw a group of people as they bypassed them, as they met Rock Lee. But they didn't have time to spar with him, as Rock Lee told Mito that he liked her. But Mito told him that she didn't even know him, as she apologized for not liking him back. Yes, that's how kind and gentle she was. As they went into the room, as Kakashi wished them luck. Going in there, they were bombarded with the amount of killing intent by the other competitors, but Naruto simply brushed it off as he stepped forward and released killing intent of his own. They made the entire room go quiet. After that, Ino and the others arrived, as Ino started to flirt with Naruto as usual, as he did something to make her feel rather uneasy as he came right in her face. Since she's always flirting with him, he decided to turn her around and make her feel the way he usually feels when she just jumped upon him like that, as she started to stutter, not knowing what to say, as everyone laughed. As Kabuto arrived and was talking about the Sound team, as he said that Sound is a rather weak nation, just new. Those Suzaku and Kin dashed forward to show him, as seeing that Kabuto was wearing the Konoha headband, Mito jumped in the way to save him, as her and Kabuto was knocked to the ground. Naruto then stepped in front of Dosu and Zaku. He knocked those two away as he stepped in front of Zaku, holding his gauntlet on his arm. Zaku got instantly scared, to the point where he wet himself and making everyone laugh. Ibiki then came into the room as he told him how to sit down. Naruto has been working on something as he tried. He made a mental connection with Mito and Sasuke as he told them the answers. After that was over, they went out to take part in the second phase of student exams. As Anko thought that she could scare Naruto, but she was terribly wrong, as he wasn't even shaking the slightest. After heading inside, they decided to scope around, as Mito told Naruto to stay out of it while she and Sasuke face off against a group of Rain ninjas, seeing that Naruto would just defeat them too fast, as they got the scroll that they needed. Meanwhile in the village, Sarutobi and Jiraiya was there, as Sarutobi just wanted to make sure that another Seal Master was here in case anything happened with Naruto. Instead of being worried on the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, he has to worry on a different person that didn't even have a beast inside of him, just a monstrous amount of chakra. Orochimaru then attacked the group with his snakes, as Naruto was caught in one of them as the snake dived underground to get away with him. When Naruto arrived back to the scene, he saw Mito on the ground in pain, as she passed out because Orochimaru slammed his seal in a ray on her already seal to knock her out, to suppress the Kyuubi's power. And also Sasuke had a mark on his neck. Naruto created 2 clones so they got away with them. It was then back at the village that Naruto erupted in an amount of rage, as power just burst out of him. His eyes started to change. In the village, an amount of chakra washed over everything, breaking all the glass. So yeah guys, that was basically last where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and take it for yourself. So let's start this new episode. Sarutobi looked through the window, which was now gone, as it was just an empty space because all the windows, it seems like in the village, was shattered at that point. But the chakra had receded. It was still heavily over the forest, but it has receded at one point. It seems like Naruto is containing it. Most of the people in the village has passed out, as the chakra was that much to knock out the people in the village. A lot of them fell unconscious. But as for the ninjas, they were still awoke, as Sarutobi had a fright expression on his face because the feeling he just felt. It was something even beyond the Nine-Tailed. Even though it was sinister, it was still just overwhelming, as he wondered what happened. Jiraiya already went off to investigate the scene, just to see what was up. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was beyond shock, as he was just standing there, for the first time in his life, not even facing off against Hanzo the Salamander, not even seeing a tailed beast. He did not understand what was this boy, as his legs were shaking. Was this actual fear, he thought to himself. Naruto wasn't paying attention to Orochimaru, he was looking at his hands, as he felt the power coursing through his body. It was like that day when Jiraiya removed his seals. And Naruto has also gone through some changes, mostly his eyes. On the side of his face, you could see veins popping out, like when a Hyuga member activated the Byakugan. But that was not all, it's once golden eyes have changed. In the background, it was showing off a bluish color, much like the Tensegon. And Naruto had 6 circles in his eyes like the Rinnegan, as each of them were golden. Naruto could see things on a different scale. Orochimaru was just there standing, looking at the remarkable kid he has ever seen in his life. This is just something beyond whatever he has seen. Kabuto completely downplayed this kid's power. He was something else. As Orochimaru narrowed his eyes at Naruto, who still hasn't spoken, as Naruto tilted his head up to look up in the sky. He raised his hand as Orochimaru stood there watching him. A smirk came on his face, but he shook his head. Too powerful, he said. Orochimaru, he said, not looking at him. I heard about you. A disgusting freak of nature. A pedophile snake that loves to take kids and experiment on them. The old man know that I'm smart for my age, so he tell me certain things that most people don't know. The 30 kids that went missing in Konoha, the kids that the parents mourned for and cried for, it was you who took them and experimented on them to try and recreate the first Hokage's bloodline through them. Orochimaru stood there in shock, as he never knew that Sarutobi would tell a kid like this such things. But on the other hand, he was also interested. What are you? Orochimaru said. I don't even know that myself, Naruto said. But I did make an oath to you. I'm gonna kill you, and there is no way around that. Orochimaru chuckled a bit, though slightly nervous. You may be strong for your age, but I'm still the legendary Sannin. It doesn't matter who you... Orochimaru couldn't get to finish that sentence, as Naruto flashed past him, but Naruto did not touch him. Instead, Naruto smashed into a tree behind him. Orochimaru turned because he didn't even see the boy move. What just happened? Orochimaru said, as he just saw the flash, and then he was in the tree. Naruto pulled himself out of the tree. It seems my body is not fully adapted to this speed yet. So all along I've been holding back this kind of power. It seems that the old man and Jiraiya knew what they were doing after all. But I can feel the control over it. How do you have this much power? Orochimaru asked. Naruto looked up at him, and for the first time Orochimaru saw his eyes clearly. Wow. As he saw those ripple patterns, it brought one memory to his mind. The Rinnegan? The Rinnegan, Naruto said. You seem to be focusing on my eyes. As my eyes change. Naruto held out his hand as an ice mirror appeared. They are different. I can feel the amount of power oozing into them. It seems that seal was holding back my true potential. But I wonder. Naruto then slowly took off his shirt as he put it aside. As a Toma seal, there were still 3 Tomas left on him. So it seemed some of them had break, Naruto said. So my power is still being held back by this seal. It doesn't matter. This should be enough to kill you, he said. Naruto then picked up himself fully. He put on back his shirt as Orochimaru quickly pulled for the Kusanagi blade. Do you want to fight with weapons? Naruto said. That should be rather interesting. Naruto held up his hand as a black iron rod appeared. It then started to bend and bend to its will. A firm ice dome came around it as the ice dome was absorbed into the black rod. Fire then exploded around it, and then lightning clattered right through it. Then a wind howl could be heard as the earth off the ground then broke apart and came into the blade. Water appeared out of nowhere, just seemed to appear in mid-air as it flowed straight down into the blade, reinforcing the blade altogether. A bright glowing light. And Orochimaru squinted his eyes. The blade dropped in Naruto's hand. Orochimaru just looked on with fascination and shock. The hilt of the blade was golden, with the kanjis for fire, lightning, wind, water, and earth on it. It had a bright silver blade that seemed to just sparkle. Without warning or anything, Naruto blurred away. With quick reflex for being a son, Orochimaru brought up his own Kusanagi. As Naruto blade connected with it, a shockwave that was so powerful tore through the entire forest. Trees were torn to pieces, reduced to nothing, as the blade forces obliterated all of them. And that was the most surprising thing. Orochimaru was beyond shock, because he was now holding on to the hilt of his broken Kusanagi. As in many years, no one has ever struck and broken his blade. He tried to look up at Naruto, but Naruto grabbed him by the face. Naruto then pushed off with incredible speed as Orochimaru's body was sent sailing through the air, Naruto still holding on to him. Naruto came to a stop and drove Orochimaru down into the ground. Another massive earth explosion went off. As Naruto then realized something, he was off the ground. Am I flying? He said. As he realized yes, he was flying, looking down at Orochimaru's body. Naruto slashed his blade through the air as a slicing sound could be heard. The blade didn't even touch him, but Orochimaru's chest was ripped open as he coughed up blood. The next thing Naruto knew, a hand pushed from out of Orochimaru's mouth as another Orochimaru slit out and started to slit away. Disgusting, Naruto said. As he swiped his blade to where Orochimaru was running, Orochimaru felt the force coming behind him. He tried to duck as it sliced off a good portion of his hair, but it passed over his head, slicing down the trees. As Orochimaru just watched in shock, he didn't see it. Was it wind? Was the boy producing wind at that level? As Naruto came, rushing towards him, many hidden shadow snakes, Orochimaru said. Before the snakes could touch Naruto, they were reduced to pieces as a slicing blade appeared and shredded them all. Naruto then took a deep breath in as he fired off a purple light out of his mouth. The thing moved with incredible speed, not even Orochimaru could stop it, as it ripped right through his shoulder. Orochimaru winced out in pain As where the light had connect, that strange purple light, his body started to burn from that small hole as it started to extend and extend even more. Orochimaru quickly spread his mouth open wide again as he leaped out of it. Again? What does it take to kill you, Naruto, as he landed on the ground? The moment Naruto's feet touched the ground, nature, he said. I wasn't feeling these things before, but now I can feel all of them and sense all of them. It seems that Otsutsuki woman was right, but these seals have been preventing my power all these years. Naruto then kneeled down as Orochimaru was getting away. As Naruto slowly placed his hand on the grass, the trees around him started to blow violently as they started to shake until they started to break apart. All of them exploded, but the pieces of splinters formed together to create hundreds of spikes, wooden spikes. As Naruto controlled all of them and thrust them forward, they tear through the air at abnormal speed. Orochimaru had to come to a stop as all of them stabbed right in front of him. The moment he turned around, another barrage of wood projectiles were coming towards him. He quickly leaped up in the air as high as he can. He then heard a voice, "Get down." As he then felt a force that pulled his body to the ground with so much force. When he slammed into it, his entire body dented in the ground. Naruto looked at his hands once more. Now that is strange. He pointed at Orochimaru, and he felt the pull. Orochimaru was pulled out of the ground towards him as he grabbed Orochimaru by the face. But he then realized something was just shed skin. As he saw a hole where Orochimaru's body landed, he tossed the shed skin aside as he could feel Orochimaru trying to escape through the earth. As Naruto raised his hand, "I'll smite you, you disgusting creature." But before he could do anything, thousands upon thousands of snakes burst from the ground. A lot of them. Small snakes as they all converge on Naruto. In a giant ball, they all surrounded him, hissing and trying to bite him to pieces. Orochimaru, who was a distance away, then felt the force as Naruto pushed all of them away from him. Their bodies were ripped up into tiny pieces by his master control over wind. Not even a single blood fell to his clothes because he had repelled all of them away from him. As Naruto could no longer sense Orochimaru anymore, it felt like he vanished. Meanwhile, a distance away outside of Konoha, a snake arrived in a poof as Orochimaru slithered out of a snake's mouth. The snake then vanished as Orochimaru was on the ground, as he has never ever witnessed something like that before. That is just beyond anything he has ever seen. That eyes, those eyes of his, surpass the Sharingan and even the basic Rinnegan that he has seen so far from the leader of the Akatsuki Pain. Those powers, as it made Orochimaru felt a dread that the boy was going to kill him, but another excitement because he wanted those eyes. If he could get those eyes, if he could get control of that boy's body, he would be beyond anything else. He would be something from this world, as he would be a foe to trifle the Akatsuki, to trifle anyone that dare to stand in his way. Meanwhile, with Naruto descended back down to the ground. "It seems I went a little overboard," he said, as he looked around at all the destruction that he caused. "I wonder if the old man felt the power I produce. Well, if he did, he would Naruto came to a stop. "Did the old man send you?" he asked. Jiraiya, who was watching, he just arrived, startled that the kid knew he was here because he was trying to suppress his chakra at a level where nobody except for a high-level Jonin or a Kage-level shinobi could sense him. "How do you know I was here?" Jiraiya says. He jumped through. "I sensed you," Naruto said. "You know this is the Chunin exams. What are you doing here?" I want to know what happened." "What are you talking about?" Naruto said. "A blast force of pure chakra was sent through Konoha. It exploded all of the windows. And if it affected the village so strong from here, and it also felt dense. You're the only one in the village. You're the only kid in this student exam that can produce power like that. So, what happened out here? What happened that let you take things so far? It was Orochimaru. Jiraiya was shocked to hear that. Orochimaru? What would he be doing in the... He was after Sasuke. Judging from what I saw, he placed a mark on Sasuke's neck before my clone took him off. What? Where is he now? Jiraiya said. I handled him. Well, I was about to handle him and he ran. Jiraiya narrowed his eyes at Naruto. What do you mean you handled him? I meant I defeat him, and he ran away. As Jiraiya was just taken back at that, he knew the kid was strong. He has a massive amount of chakra, but does he has the abilities? You defeated Orochimaru? This entire time, Naruto's back was turned to Jiraiya, as he couldn't see Naruto's face. He then noticed something at the side of Naruto's face, veins, as he tried to look around, but the moment he was walking around to face Naruto completely, the veins vanished. As he turned to face Naruto's eyes were normal as usual, just golden. How did you manage to make Orochimaru run from you? Asked Jiraiya in pure shock. I will explain everything once we finish this part of the exam. I suggest you leave, Naruto said. You're not supposed to be here. Jiraiya couldn't get to say anything else because Naruto simply vanished. As Jiraiya just stood there shocked. There was a lot of things going on. A lot of crazy, unexplained things. For example, what exactly was this kid? For someone to produce that much chakra, what he felt was beyond human. That was tail beast level. And for someone his age to defeat a Sani like Orochimaru. Not even Jiraiya could think that he could defeat Orochimaru without activating Sage Mode. So, he just didn't know. But for now he has to get back to the old man. With that he vanished out of the forest. Meanwhile, just what in the world was that? Said Karu, as she, Amoy, and Yujito and Samui were in the forest. That power is beyond anything I've ever felt before, said Yujito. It's even stronger than the Nibi's chakra. Nibi, what the hell is that? Kitten, you remember I told you about that boy? What boy? The one that your teammate faced off against, which he dismissed her in seconds. Wait, what was his name again? Wait, the shopkeeper called his name. Oh yes, Naruto. Yes, it's his power. But how can a person his age produce that kind of power? I told you already there was something strange. Something different about him that I don't understand. But you were right. His power is beyond mine. As Yujito was taken aback, she was just saying things and she thought that it wasn't actually true. But for Nibi to say that plainly, is he really that strong? I suggest you do not go up against him. In a fight to the death battle, you will surely lose. I know you're a strong and proud Kunoichi, but he's just... I can't really explain. He's different. I've never felt anything like this before. Well, I have, Nibi said to herself. But the old man is long dead. And this power, it's like his, but it's different in so many ways. I wonder, just who exactly are you, kid? Hey, said Karu, snapping Yujito from her thoughts. It's coming from here. Hey, wait, where the hell are you guys going on my ass? Don't you guys watch Scary Movie or something like that? When you know that there's something dangerous there, you never go. Are you guys okay? Why would you want to go to a dangerous power into a forest where we can get killed because there is no rule against getting killed and we already signed the waivers? Think, he said. Amoy, will you shut up and stop being a girl and come on? What? You guys are girls, Amoy said. Yeah, and we're going along, said Karu. So shut your mouth and get your ass going. Well, if it's all the same to you, I'd rather not die, so you guys can go ahead. Karu marched over to him as she grabbed him by the arm and started to pull him. Karu, let me go, he kept on cursing. Meanwhile, Samui narrowed her eyes because she could feel the power. It was the same. as that boy who Karu attacked in Konoha. But what was he? For him to be able to wield such power, for him to be that strong, just what exactly was he, she wondered. The group then went off. It took them a couple of minutes. It seems I had gotten lesser, said Karu as she looked around. But I don't say. She then came to a stop. As Yujito narrowed her eyes, Karu, do not do anything stupid. Because in front of them was Naruto. He was not paying them any attention. He was just standing there talking to himself. But actually, he was having a mental conversation with his clone that he sent out. Did you get them to safety? Yes. But they haven't woken up. I think you're gonna need to go into their minds. It seemed that this seal that Orochimaru placed on her, it cut her connection with the Biju completely, suppressing that power. But that is something I want her to say because I don't want him to corrupt her mind. But after the last visit I paid him, I don't think he will do anything like that stupid enough. But I guess I should remove it, in order to allow her to heal. She does need the special healing ability he comes with, because he won't allow his partner to die, as long as he's within them. What about Sasuke? He hasn't woken up either, he just grunted in pain a few times. And it seems that the seal on his neck, it is a resort of Orochimaru. You will have to check out his mind as well. I'll be there soon. There is some pest watching me, Naruto says. He cut the connection. Naruto then started to walk. The Kumo group looked at him. They were standing in his path, but he still didn't pay them any mind. As he was walking just to get around them, he didn't have time for this. He has to go to see if his sister is okay. It's you, said Karu as she stepped forward. Karu, said Yujito. As Samui narrowed her eyes at Naruto, as Amoy stepped back in fear. As Naruto didn't pay them any mind, until he arrived at least 5 foot away from them, when Karu stepped forward. I wanted to see you in here, so I could kill you, she said. As she reached behind her and gripped her new sword, and for breaking my... She then came to a stop. When Naruto spoke, do you value your life? She narrowed her eyes at him. What does that supposed to mean? Because if you wield your sword after me right now, you will certainly die. And I don't mean that I will try and kill you or anything like that. It's not a threat. It's a direct promise. You will die. No matter what you do, you cannot stop it. So I suggest that you don't do anything stupid. I have not come here to fight any of you. I am just passing by to get to somewhere. So if you value your life, please, just leave, Naruto said. It would be a waste to kill people like you. You're not even worth it. Yujito take great offense to that statement, but there was just this feeling that was holding her back from fighting. Maybe it was because of what Nibi said to her. But why was she scared now? She has faced a lot of dangerous opponents in her past. Karu stepped forward as she was about to pull her sword and Samui grabbed her hand, surprising them. We're not here to fight. I just want to know, said Samui. Was it you that caused that massive chakra explosion earlier? Why do you want to know, Naruto asked. I'm just curious, she said. Was it you? Yes, it was, Naruto said. Why, she asked. You asked your question before, why should I explain anything else? Because it's rather strange. I hate to say it, but I don't think no one in this forest can beat you. With the amount of power that you're wielding right now, I don't even know if you're human. Don't even know if I'm human, Naruto said. Yes, I don't. Because there is no kid, probably not even some adults that have that power. And I feel like there was no end to it. Like it could just go on for hours, even days upon end. So tell me, who in here could push you so hard for you to use that? It doesn't concern you, Naruto said, as he started to walk away. Karu was trying to get release from Samui, but Samui gave her a harsh glare. If you don't want to die, settle down. What? Do you really think this punk can kill me? Karu, shut the hell up, said Samui. And Samui just going off a blind rage. She could feel the power, but she still act like she's all brave and mighty. And she was her friend. Samui wouldn't say it out loud, but They had been on a team for a while and she was her friend, and she didn't want her to die. But she knew, even Yujito knew it as well, as Samui glanced at Yujito. If they tried to attack him now, it would certainly mean their death. They would have to report this to Raikage. This was something dangerous. This was something he needs to know. Meanwhile, distance away. "What is it, Gaara?" said Kankuro, as Gaara came to a stop. As Temaru was just looking out, as she felt the amount of power radiating from somewhere in the middle of the forest. But it quickly vanished. "I wonder what the hell was that?" "It's that boy from before," said Gaara, as Temaru was taken back to Gaara just speaking to her that openly. "How do you know?" "It's the same feeling." As Gaara looked at his hands. "Are you trembling?" Temaru asked. "I don't know what this feeling is, but I don't like it," Gaara said. "Let's go." Kankuro was taken aback. What the hell kind of monster was that kid, if someone like Gaara fears him? When Naruto arrived to his group, the clone poofed away, leaving Naruto to take over things. As Naruto saw his sister, she was unconscious, but other than that she was perfectly fine. "Don't worry. The next time I lay my eyes on him, I won't allow him to escape," Naruto said. "But first," as he placed his hand on her forehead. When Naruto opened his eyes, he was in her mindscape. He came up to the giant bars, but in front of them was a sealing array, the 5-pronged seal that Orochimaru placed on her stomach. Naruto raised his hands up as the sealing array started to shift, as the chakra that was put into made it started to be absorbed into Naruto's palm. The sealing array then crumbled away, revealing Kurama behind the bars. Naruto then turned to walk away. "Wait." As he turned to look back at Kurama. "Did you say something?" Naruto asked, knowing full well that the fox just said wait. "I just want to know." "What are you?" Kurama said, as he too had felt that power. And it reminded him so much of the old man. But it was different in so many ways. And he wanted to know. "To tell you the truth, Fox, I can't tell you that myself. Perhaps I'll know soon enough. But for now, heal my sister." And with that, Naruto vanished out of the mindscape. Naruto then opened back his eyes as his sister was slowly grunting and moving around. She would wake up soon. He then looked at Sasuke, who seemed to be in pain. "Don't worry, Sasuke," Naruto said, as he placed a hand on this strange mark on Sasuke's neck. The moment he touched it, he could feel the essence of that man. When Naruto opened back his eyes, he was in a white empty plane. He then heard screaming. As he started to walk some more, the place then started to change. It was like a strange underground pit with water just dripping. Snakes covered the wall as they were all glaring him down, but Naruto paid them no mind. As he came upon the sight of the screen, it was Sasuke. Half of his body was buried in snakes. "Naruto," Sasuke said, "help me!" As Naruto stepped forward, the snakes then formed in front of Naruto, as it revealed Orochimaru's face. Orochimaru chuckled menacingly. "I don't know how you got in here." But Naruto cut him off before he could say anything else. "You're truly a disgusting being." "Huh. You asked me if I was not human, but you're certainly worse not." As Orochimaru narrowed his eyes, as Naruto looked at him, "You placed a piece of your soul fragment into the seal, and it will slowly try to corrupt Sasuke by giving him power to make him slowly seek you out. So it seems like you're after Sasuke. But I'll never let that happen." Big words coming from someone who just stepped into my domain. "I will slowly take full control in here, and I'll reduce you to..." But Naruto stepped forward as the ground buckled under the weight. As Orochimaru took a step back, as yellow hot energy started to form around Naruto until he held up his hand. It then compressed into a small tiny ball that was just rotating in the middle of his palm. It was like a miniature sun, as Naruto simply threw it forward. It landed right on Sasuke, but it didn't harm Sasuke in a bit. It then expanded and started to evaporate all of the snakes. How? How are you doing this? Orochimaru said. I told you, I will wipe your existence from this earth, little by little. I am coming for you, Orochimaru. No matter where you hide, you will die. Sasuke watches all of the snakes were burned off of him. Meanwhile, in the real world, the Sound Team, those Suzaku and Kin landed, as Orochimaru gave them the objective to push the Uchiha boy, to fight him and try to kill him. They still didn't understand why though, because they thought that their master was after the Uchiha boy, so it's rather strange for him wanting them to kill him. But they will follow his orders. They then came to see it was that other kid. Zaku quickly clenched his teeth. As he clenched his fists, he pointed his gauntlet towards Naruto. As he remembered about the accident in the room, he quickly fired off a sound blast. But before it could connect with Naruto, Naruto placed his hand behind him. As he absorbed the power, absorbed the chakra out of it, rendering it useless. Naruto still didn't turn to face them. Meanwhile, Mito got off the ground as she rubbed her eyes. She then noticed the Sound Team, and Naruto back to them as she quickly got to her feet. She staggered a bit, but she was fine. Meanwhile, Sasuke winced a bit. The curse mark on his neck started to burn. A yellowish glow started to just rip it off of his skin. Back inside of Sasuke's mind, Naruto was still aware of everything going on inside and outside, as he could feel the Sound Team and felt that power coming. Sasuke was now completely free of the snakes. As Sasuke got to his feet, "What did you do?" Sasuke asked. "I freed you of that snake. This is a part of your mind that not even you would remember. It is a part of your subconscious which he's trying to take over. But don't worry, you're free." "Thank you," Sasuke said. As Naruto then noticed, Sasuke fidgeted a bit. "What's wrong?" Naruto asked. "Oh, nothing. You can leave now. I saved your life. Well, not really your life. Yes, really. Because if you had turned evil and betrayed this village, I would have probably killed you for your betrayal." Sasuke didn't say anything about that. He just looked at Naruto. "You can leave now, you know. Why are you rushing me to leave?" Naruto then noticed something. A door. It was heavily sealed up, with a large X on it. This was something Sasuke buried into his subconscious. But it seemed like Sasuke was focusing on this memory a lot. "What is that?" Naruto asked. Sasuke quickly rushed over there. "Oh, it's nothing. Well, you know that something's going on outside. I can feel it. Don't worry. Mito is strong enough to hold her own. Besides, she's always complaining to me, saying that I always defeat the bad guy, and she never get to do anything. But if they try anything too bad, I'll kill them. But I want to know what's that." Sasuke started to shiver even more. "I told you it's nothing. You can leave," he said. As Naruto walked over there, Sasuke tried his best to stop Naruto. "You know this is my mind. I can get you out of here," Sasuke said, as he started to push Naruto with a force. "It must be really secretive that you don't want to show me. I know it's nothing to do with your brother, because you keep those feelings outwards, because you want him to pay. This is something embarrassing that you did. And I want to see," Naruto said. As Sasuke keep on pushing Naruto, but this overwhelming force that seemed to overpower his mind. "How are you doing this? This is my mind," Sasuke screamed, as Naruto reached the door and opened it. The moment Naruto stepped inside, he saw Sasuke knocking on his door. This was a few days ago, he could tell, before the Chunin exams. No one answered though. As Naruto saw Sasuke entered and went to sit on the couch. He was just sitting there waiting for someone to arrive. As he pulled out a kunai and started twirling in his hand. He kept on twirling it until he accidentally threw it too far to stick into the ceiling. "Damn it," Sasuke said, as he walked up the wall. As he removed the kunai. Meanwhile, Mito just got out of the shower, a towel wrapped around her body. As she stepped inside the room, the water was so loud she didn't hear Sasuke come in. As she released a sigh. "That was wonderful," she said. Sasuke, seeing her in the wet towel, got all nervous as he lost balance of his chakra. He then fell off the ceiling, crashing right on Mito. The next sight Naruto saw made his eyebrow twitch. The both of them fell in a rather uncomfortable situation, which caused the both of them to kiss by accident. Naruto's eyebrow was twitching, as the reason why they didn't jump away instantly. Sasuke was just staying there, with a slight blush on his face, until the both of them moved away. Mito was also blushing, as Sasuke looked at her. "We can't tell Naruto about this," he said. The memory then came to an end as Naruto stepped back. He then turned to see Sasuke's subconscious just standing there, as he started to back away. Naruto left Sasuke's mind without saying a word. When Naruto opened back his eyes, he saw Mito dodging a ear cannon from Dosu, as she fired off 3 kunais and 3 shurikens. Skin jumped in the way and countered. As Mito jumped back, Mito then went through hand sign. "Water style, water bullet," she said, as she fired water bullet from her mouth. That crashed straight in the kin that sent her flying back. But Zaku caught her. Zaku then noticed the Uchiha waking up, as he then noticed, wait, where's the other one? "Last time I told you that you really admire these arms, yet you show your face around me again." He felt a hand grab the back of his neck, squeezing him so tight he couldn't move. "Tell me why I shouldn't snap your neck now." Now before that, Orochimaru was wearing that same headband as yours. "Is this the sound," Naruto said, "the new village that Kabuto talked about?" "Answer me," Naruto said as he squeezed tighter. Zaku cried out in pain. "Yes, it is." "Did Orochimaru send you after me?" "No, not you. It was Sasuke." Sasuke got up. "Huh? Me? Why me?" "He wanted us to fight you. Even push you to your limits, even to go all out to try and kill you. We don't know why. Please believe me," Zaku said as he could feel the pressure crushing the back of his neck. Zaku Dosu says he rushed forward, but Mito got in front of him. With a surprising punch in the nose, she knocked him to the ground. "Alright," as she stomped on his chest. "I got this one, big brother," she said. As Zaku started to cry out in pain even more, Sasuke touched his neck. The strange feeling, it was gone completely. "Naruto, what did you..." But Naruto sent him a glare, as Sasuke stepped back a bit. "Hey, what's wrong?" "We will talk soon," Naruto said, as Sasuke felt shivers from those words. What do you mean by that?" he asked, but Naruto didn't elaborate on it. Naruto then threw Zaku to the side as he smashed into a tree. "Let them go, Mito," Naruto said. As Mito took her foot off of Dosu. "You're letting us go?" Kin said as she got up. "Yes, I am," Naruto said. "But before that, I want to give Orochimaru a message. Tell him I'm coming for him. And this time, he won't be able to escape." They didn't need any more after that, as the group quickly got up and left. As Mito walked up to her brother. "Did you fight Orochimaru?" she asked. "Yes, I did." "Did you kick his ass?" "Well, he managed to run away." She smiled as she hugged him. "That's my big brother. You scared him so bad he ran away, huh?" As Naruto chuckled. "Well, I guess so," he said. "Wait, you defeated him?" "You even scared him that bad, legendary Sannin," said Sasuke. "How?" Naruto sent another glare Sasuke's way, as Sasuke just gulped nervously. "Hey, what's with the look, man? What did I do?" "Mito, Sasuke, I know what happened between the both of you," Naruto said. "This caused the both of them to stop in their tracks." What do you mean by that, big brother?" said Mito, plain dumb. Naruto didn't respond to her question though. "Why are you watching us, Hyuga?" Meanwhile, that was going on, a distance away from Konoha. "Damn it. This would be a real hindrance in my plan to bring my mother," said Zetsu. Once again, he came to Konoha. He did his research as he found out why Naruto attacked him. He has a stepsister, Mito Uzumaki. She's not his real family, but he sees her that way though. As the white Zetsus were brilliant on gathering intel when it comes to changing into people. Now he cursed because he understands why Naruto wanted to kill him that night. It seems like he has great bonds with his sister of his. But he's going to be a threat in my plans. I will have to find a way to remove him, because if this continues on, the way mother feels about him, the way she describes his power, the way she believes in it, I don't think that we can take him on. But mother loves him. He's her child, she wants to see him. But he will not partner with his sister if we go after her. he will try to eradicate the Akatsuki. And I can't allow that. I've worked so hard over the generations. I will see my mother against said Black Zetsu, as he was furious. I have to come up with a plan to make him go on the run. I have to at least do something to keep him busy for a while until I collect all the tail pieces. Well, until my lackeys do the work. But for now, I have to keep him on the run, because the closer he stays to his sister, the harder it would be for any Akatsuki member. I don't even know the full range of his power yet. But if he's on any level as mother, no Akatsuki member will be able to touch him. And worse if he has the ability to absorb chakra. That will only make it worse, Zetsu said as he sank back down to the ground. But yeah guys, I'm gonna be ending this episode right here. If you enjoyed this episode, comment down and tell me guys, and tell me that you want the next part, and you know it will be out soon as possible. And remember, just get this one to 300 likes as usual. And yeah guys, the next part will be out fast as possible guys. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.